Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a Boeing 737 pilot and a member of PMDG's tech team. In this video I would like to start preparing you for flying the Boeing 737-900ER, which flies a little bit different on the approaches than the 737-800 and the smaller versions do, mostly due to the increased gross weight of the airplane. However, in this video I'm going to talk to you over how we do it. Now, let's start with the weights of the airplane themselves. As we can see right now, we're at a typical landing weight in the region of approximately 69 tons. The maximum landing weight of the 900ER is 71.4 tons, and thereby approximately 6.5 tons higher than that of the 737-800. Now, looking into the differences in the approach, this of course means our approach speeds are going to be quite a bit higher. For example, on this approach we're going to use a flap 30 landing, and adding 5 knots VRF addition to this we have an approach speed of 152 knots. Now, nonetheless, all the landing gates still apply. That means that our airplane is still supposed to be doing less than 1,000 feet a minute on the approach. However, due to the higher weights, this is something that is certainly going to be more difficult to achieve. The good news, however, is that due to the extra drag of the airplane, it slows down quite a bit nicer, thereby making approaches a bit easier. I'm going to show this to you now. The glide slope is just about coming alive, and we are flying close to the flaps up maneuver speed of approximately 212 knots in this example. Now, it is not uncommon to see flap maneuver speeds up this high. Also, we have a little bit of tailwind on this approach. Let's go flaps 1 and start decelerating. You are going to notice that, unlike the 737-800, the 900 is quite a bit less slippery, meaning it is easier to decelerate the airplane. We're about to intercept the glide slope, and first of all notice that speed trend vector over here of about 10 knots in level flight, deceleration. And now that we have glide slope capture, let's go to flaps 5, and watch how even on the glide slope the speed is still going to be reducing. Now, note that we have a little bit of tailwind here, so the effect is not as prominent right now as it would be in a scenario without tailwind. But even in this scenario, you can see how there's still a small trend vector left, and how the airspeed is still coming back nicely on the glide slope with the flaps extended in 5 and the engines in idle thrust. Now, if we were flying the same scenario in a 737-800, things would be quite the opposite, as the 800 would probably need flaps 10 in order just to maintain its airspeed in this very scenario with the tailwind. However, as you can see, in the 900 it is not as difficult to slow down on the approach. Nonetheless, what you are going to notice is that when you fly the same approach profile with the 900 as you would in the 800, then a flap 5 maneuver speed is going to give you something in the region of approximately 170 knots. And looking at the true airspeed, this is even 175 right now. Now, air traffic control often gives speed restrictions in the region of about 160 knots, and in the 900 you might have to take the landing gear down in order to maintain those airspeeds. The other thing we need to be aware of is tail clearance. Now, due to its extra length, the 900 is quite a bit easier to tail strike than the shorter versions, and thereby we have the tail skid on all 900 models. Now, if you follow correct piloting technique, you are still going to end up with the flaps with the nose approximately at 1 degree above the horizon in a flap 30 configuration, and approximately on the horizon in the flap 40 configuration. However, tail strike would occur quite a bit earlier than on the 800s, and therefore it is paramount that you don't try to flare the airplane to eternity in order to achieve a smooth touchdown, but that you actually fly the airplane on the ground like it is designed by Boeing. Another few changes that we have occur that most 900s are actually equipped with the automatic start switches, and that means we no longer need to select the continuous position in order to land the airplane. The same goes for anti-ice usage, by the way. Also, since the majority of 900s are quite new aircraft, especially 900ER, they are mostly fitted with the multi-mode receiver, which in my opinion makes things a little bit easier. The other thing to notice here is how close you are going to be to the flap placard speeds when selecting landing flaps. This goes for the 30 and 40 positions. And what you are going to notice is that we have pluck-out speeds here, 176 for flap 30 and 166 for flaps 40. And as you just saw, especially for a flap 40 landing, our airspeed with flap 15, which is the configuration from which we start configuring, is pretty close to that flap's pluck-out speed limit. So be very careful when you're selecting those landing flaps, not to simply overspeed the flaps. Okay then, let's go ahead and disconnect the automatics for this landing. Also, let's quickly forget about that glide slope, which unfortunately is a little bit off over here. And here we go, right back into the profile.
Minimums.
Continue. Okay. And here we are. Okay, speed brake up, thruster is normal. The other thing to be aware of is due to the large weight of the airplane, brake cooling really is a bit of a thing here. So be very careful in the choice of landing flaps and auto brake that you are going to make, because you do not want that brake to overheat, and especially if you do plan a shorter turnaround, then you want to be careful with the landing flap and auto brake combination that you select, so that you get a good brake cooling schedule. Keep in mind, the 737NG is not equipped with a brake fan, so any brake cooling will have to be done simply by standing at the gate with the brake released. This is going to be it for this video. I hope that you have learned something, and I hope that you will be able to put it into practice very soon. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by using the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below, or by becoming a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive access to new videos before they are released, and in first class membership, even the ability to request your own videos to be made. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to see you all again very soon.